Okay, it says we're live. That is what it says. Okay, then. We'll look here. And then here. Well, why isn't this thing showing? Go there. There. Nope, and oh, I apologize, guys. Not sure why that's not working. It's dumb. Okay, well, let's try this. We're going to get started shortly, guys. I promise. There it is. So I can see the chat in case someone wants to talk. Okay. All right. Good Saturday morning for all you nerds who woke up in time to watch this live. If not, you can catch it on the replay. This is the Saturday edition of the Daily Nerd Brief. I'm Troy Stegner, and I'm bringing you all the nerdy news that is fit to know. Let's start with some statues. Sideshow putting out some awesome stuff. It's not actually by Sideshow, but they distribute it. We have the Iron Man Mark L, the Mark 50 statue by Iron Studios. This is on pre-order. Expected arrival date April 2019 to June 2019. Pretty reasonably priced. It's $119. They do have a payment plan for it. This is a 110 scale based off the Infinity War version of Iron Man. It is part of a diorama that you can put with other figures from Infinity War. I know I've seen Thor, Captain America, and War Machine. So you can the bases connect where you can have a big diorama. It's a limited edition. It's hand painted with car paint. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but car paint. It is polystone, and it's going to have 2 interchangeable pairs of hands. It's pretty tall, but it's because he's flying and he's got a larger base, so he'll probably be taller than the other ones in the diorama. He's right around 12 inches. Really, really nice piece. If you like Iron Man, it looks pretty. I will give you guys a link in the description. The Hobbit fans. Thorin Oakenshield is getting his own action figure. This one it's pretty detailed. It's by Asmus Collectibles. $199.50. Might as well say $200. It's on pre-order. Comes out starting the September to November timeframe. There is a payment plan. $199. You can make a couple payments, or you can just buy it outright. It is on pre-order, so I'm sure it will go quick. This dude is he's a dwarf, so he's not going to be as tall as other figures in that line. He's coming in under 10 inches, so the figure, he looks short and stout like a dwarf should. He has a very detailed outfit. I mean, he's even got the fur-wrapped coat, the blue vest. And if you wanted, you could strip him down to his long sleeve underwear and just have him run around in his long johns. He also has 6 interchangeable hands, the relaxed posture, holding weapon, and the fist, where he's making a fist. This thing has 32 points of articulation. That's a lot of movement. So you can pose him pretty much however you want. That many points of articulation, he can do pretty much anything. If you watched Deadpool 2, which a lot of people did because it killed it at the box office, you were introduced to Shatterstar if you weren't familiar with him. I guess he was popular enough. He has a resurgence coming out of Deadpool 2. He's getting his own title from Marvel, Shatterstar #1. It's a miniseries, only be 5 of them. So you'll find out more about Shatterstar. He's an interesting character. I believe he ties to Mojo World, kind of like Longshot. Like it says, he said in the movie, he does everything that you can do, just he does it better. I don't remember him being as conceited in the comics, but still an interesting character. Another Marvel thing going on here is Marvel Rising Initiation. They're starting to stream those on their Marvel Headquarters YouTube channel. This is it's made mostly for younger kids. It's got the more cartoony style artwork. It's got Spider-Gwen is falsely accused of some crime, so everybody, including her police chief dad, is trying to track her down, including other superheroes like Ms. Marvel, Squirrel Girl, Patriot, and, who have you. It is a very cute looking series. Right, it is out in print also. You got the Marvel Rising Alpha, Marvel Rising Squirrel Girl, Ms. Marvel, and then you got Ms. Marvel Squirrel Girl, and Marvel Rising Omega. If you are not sure if you want to read this title, head on over to the Marvel HQ YouTube channel and check it out ahead of time to see if it's something you might be interested in. Mystery Science Theater 3000. It has made its move into print. That's right, and they actually included in print into the show, kind of. They have an invention where King of Forrester puts together a King of Chrome liquid medium with her Bubble R, and somehow it thrust them into 2D world of public domain comics. So you're going to have the same thing in the comics as you had on the show, with them riffing on different things. It's going to be okay. Yeah, when is this coming out? I am sorry, guys. I should have looked that up ahead of time. Yeah, anyway, FOC estimated ship date is September 12th. So next month you will be getting your MST 3K, yeah, that's right, in comic book form, with artwork by Todd Knock. He does great work. So if you're a big Mystery Science Theater fan, now you can read stories from them instead of having to watch it on TV. There's a new Nick Cage movie coming out. Who doesn't get enough Nick Cage, right? This movie's called Mandy. It is about a dude who he's a lumberjack, lives in a secluded cabin. Some occult guy in the area sees his wife and kind of takes a shine to her. He summons up these demon bikers to go and kidnap her. And I guess they end up killing her. Well, this lumberjack is big on revenge, so he's goes over and cuts through everybody to get his revenge on it. It looks kind of like a Bruce Campbell, Army of the Dead type thing. A little supernatural stuff with some humor thrown in it. Reviews at Sundance have been amazing. They said it is just a great watch. It comes out September 14th, 2018 across the country. But Alamo Drafthouse and Regal Cinemas have teamed up to bring Nick Cage and the writer-director Panos Cosmatos together for a taped conversation that will play the day before it hits theaters. So you'll get to see them talk about, what it was like filming it, their thoughts behind it. Kind of an extra little, almost like the Blu-ray extras you get, the commentary. If you like that type of thing, you'll want to go see this the day before the movie hits. The movie's called Mandy. Great reviews. And then you're going to get the little, almost like a documentary conversation the day before with Nick Cage and the writer-director. Okay, back in the kind of like comics, kind of not. V-Wars. written by Jonathan Mayberry. I actually talked to Jonathan Mayberry when V-Wars first came out years ago, and he had told me that it was being looked at option for a TV series. Well, years passed by, and I thought maybe just like all these other shows, they had shelved it and forgotten about it. Not so. The V-Wars series is going to come to Netflix. It's based on these guys. They get infected with the vampire virus, and they make all these little vampire gangs, I guess. It's you got to read it. It's a pretty good twist on the vampire story. This is coming, like I said, coming out on Netflix. 10 episodes. If you want to get caught up on the comic, IDW Comics, V-Wars, V-Wars, follows the exploits of Dr. Luther Swan, who is trying to solve this vampire outbreak. I believe, if I remember correctly, he gets infected himself. So you can look to that in the future on Netflix. Another great Netflix series. Like I said, cable's dying. Everything's going to go subscription. Mark my words. Speaking of movies, Avengers Infinity War. Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland, you probably won't see them on a lot of press beforehand for this movie. They both have a really bad habit of giving out spoilers. They just, I don't think they do it intentionally. They just start talking and answering questions, and next thing you know, they've given away part of the plot. And if they do, I'm sure they'll put somebody with them who will stem them off from giving away, big surprise twists or plot points. Basically, what I'm trying to tell you is Mark Ruffalo and Tom Holland, you probably won't see them much on press briefing things. Kevin Smith is making a horror movie called Killjoy Was Here. He's working on it with some college kids down in Sarasota. They are the ones actually doing it. I believe it's Ringling College in conjunction with Digital Caviar and Simcor Productions. They want it to be kind of like a creep show deal, I guess, with multiple little stories in it. They had a big coup by getting Kevin Smith to come in and help them. But they're also getting Chris Jericho. I guess Chris Jericho was really helpful. He actually got behind the camera a little bit for a couple of the scenes. I haven't seen Kevin Smith's Tusk yet. That's probably the closest he's come to horror besides Red State. I really liked Red State, so let's hope this is just as good with him in the pilot seat there. I don't see a date for this. It's still in production, but you will get to see Chris Jericho and Killroy Was Here with a creep show type vibe to it. I'm looking at pictures here, and wow, I barely recognize Kevin Smith. Dude has lost so much weight. He is just he is a shadow of his former self weight-wise. I mean, that's a good thing because he really did need to take off the weight. And let's hope that helps him with his health, because I know he's had a couple issues here lately. Speaking of Netflix, you might be getting ads on Netflix here soon. A few places people have talked about they've seen ads on their Netflix. That is a big revenue source that they are missing out on. I don't have much of a problem with the commercials. I would just hope they don't put them in the middle of the shows. Maybe put them at the beginning before you watch the shows, and maybe at the end before you watch another one. I don't like my shows being interrupted by commercials. I don't like commercial breaks. So Netflix, if you're listening, please don't interrupt the show for a commercial. Do it at the beginning and end, just make them unskippable. And then I'll be okay with it. Aquaman, the latest Aquaman, number 39. If you haven't been reading it, Atlantis has moved up to the surface. It has risen to the surface, which is causing a lot of problems because, of course, The U.S. is kind of freaking out. They're doing a lot of flyovers with their jets. They're sending submarines around to surround it. And Aquaman has told, and Mira, they just, they don't want any invading type forces coming on to Atlantis. Well, guess what? Amanda Waller sends Task Force X, which you guys know as Suicide Squad, to go check it out. So there's going to be a big Atlantis versus Suicide Squad kerfuffle. I mean, they just got over the war against Quorum Wrath. Now they're going to have to fight off Suicide Squad among maybe other groups that they send over. So I don't know if I'd want to mess with Atlantis. Those guys are pretty bad, but Suicide Squad is too. So let's see what comes out of that. If you're a D&D fan or even a Magic the Gathering fan, they're kind of having a mashup here. D&D Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica is coming out. They have announced that the Circle of Spores are confirmed. If you don't know what that is, that's a new sect, I guess, of the Druid. It's a subclass for the Druids. They kind of embrace decay and rebirth through the decay. Really good character class. I've watched a couple videos on this class. They are a really interesting, very well balanced subclass of Druid. I am kind of looking forward to seeing somebody play one of these characters. D&D comes out with some really cool characters, subclasses and things. I also am still waiting to see somebody play the I believe it's the Gentleman class, the dude from Allspice commercials. They made a class based off of him. But I don't think he's going to be in Guildmaster's Guide. I believe he was in errata that they added. So if you like Druids and you like the Circle of Spores, as soon as Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica drops, you guys can start playing that for real. All the play test beta stuff, it's been overwhelmingly positive. So look for Circle of Spores Druids in your D&D campaign soon. Okay, Funko. Funko just can't stop themselves, man. They grab up every license they can and make Funko Pops from them. And I can't fault them because it's working. They've been selling a ton of Funko Pops. They grabbed the license for Runaways. Marvel's Runaways, based off their Hulu series. They've got all 6 kids from the Runaways in Funko Pops, and they look okay. I don't think I would pick them up, but they're cute. Missing one very important character, though. I mean, you got Nico, Alex, Carolina, Gert, Molly, and Chase. Well, you have Gert. Why don't you have Old Lace? Funko can make dinosaurs. They've done it before. Make an Old Lace that as a companion piece, at least for Gert. Maybe make it smaller, or actually maybe bigger than Gert. Don't understand it, and I don't see any Chase variants either for any of these pops, which are exclusives, which is kind of odd. Maybe they'll be announcing those later. But if you're a fan of Runaways from Hulu, you can now get your own Funko Pops of these characters. Okay, let's talk about Deadpool. The Deadpool 2 Blu-ray is set to come out August 21st. This next week on Tuesday, when all new DVDs come out Tuesdays. They do the best marketing with Deadpool, tongue-in-cheek type marketing. He has put out an official Twitter asking for people to apply to be a member of X-Force. So if you go to the Deadpool Twitter, Deadpool movie, I believe is the official Twitter for that, you can click there and apply to be a member of X-Force because the rest of the team's dead. It's very tongue-in-cheek. It's great marketing, keeps people interested in it, and it's so fitting to the Deadpool character. Ryan Reynolds has just he was born for this role. He's done so much to promote the Deadpool character. It's crazy. So if you want to go apply to be an X-Force before the Blu-ray hits, you have to August 21st. Go to the Deadpool movie Twitter, and you can apply to be a member of the gender-neutral X-Force. Okay, here's some sad news. Stan Lee, the biggest ambassador to comics that I can think of. If you haven't been following, there's been a lot of controversy of elder abuse and people taking advantage of him, stealing his money. They finally, the judge issued a restraining order against Keya Morgan, the 42-year-old memorabilia collector who's been at the center of this controversy, supposedly the one who's trying to isolate him from everyone and taking all his money and memorabilia. And if it's true, I don't know. But if it is true, then, sir, you're a dirtbag, taking advantage of not just the elderly, but someone as iconic as Stan Lee. Stan Lee's already stopped doing public signings. He'll only be doing private signings. Dude's in his 90s. Let him do what he wants and stop trying to cheat him out of his money. So I get it's sad news yet that it happened, but good news that I guess they finally gotten a handle on it and are keeping that dude away from Stan Lee. Let him live out his last years in peace. He earned it. The Watchmen, HBO has ordered a series adaptation of The Watchmen from Damon Lindelof. That name sounds familiar. He had a little bit to do with Lost, the huge hit TV show series that went on for a few years. This HBO series of The Watchmen they keep trying to get away from the word reboot. I don't know why. It's the same thing. They're calling it a remix instead of a reboot. Call it spade a spade, dude. It's a reboot. They're going to not follow exactly by the book. They don't want to try to recreate the book. They want to create, I guess, alternate stories with these characters. They've got some big name people in the cast so far. I mean, you got Jeremy Irons, Don Johnson, Lou Gossett Jr., just to name a few. So hopefully this will do better than the I believe it was Zack Snyder's 2009 movie. It was okay, but I didn't get the same feeling from that movie as I did from the book. The movie was kind of not real true to the source, and I think some of the stuff they added in didn't help. I'm not a stickler for them sticking exactly by the source, but when you change things for no reason and it doesn't help the story, I don't understand. So yeah, there's a big resurgence in Watchmen popularity because in around 2012 they had all those prequels for the individual characters. And now they're working Watchmen into the main DC universe through the Doomsday Clock series. And now HBO is having a series based off the Watchmen. So those characters are probably, I suggest if you haven't read it, most libraries probably have it in trade paperback. Go pick it up and read it. Or if you really like it, go to your local comic book store and buy your own copy. I would rather you do that. Watchmen coming to HBO. If you've been reading Scott Snyder's Justice League, you see that Lex Luthor has this cosmic-looking doorknob that is got all kinds of powers to it. We've been finding out a little more about this doorknob in each issue. Lex has put together the Legion of Doom again. He took over Vandal Savage's headquarters, the Legion of Doom headquarters now. Supposedly killed Vandal Savage, but nobody in comics stays dead. We may see him sometime later. They're explaining this doorknob as it's part of the totality. If you don't know what the totality is, back in Flash, Wally and Barry accidentally popped a hole in the source wall, or they damaged the source wall, and the totality is escaping through that. And a lot of it's crashing to Earth. Now, how they explain that doorknob being in Lex Luthor's father's possession, since this source wall breach just happened, is time travel. The way they answer everything, it doesn't make sense. Time travel. Went back through time, and Lex Luthor's father had it. He kind of he found it, and Lex came across it, found it, and he's been using it to get rid of. I mean, he's gotten rid of Martian Manhunter. He's gotten rid of Superman. He's gotten rid of Batman, putting him in wherever this other multiverse is. And he's set. He wants to, get with this totality thing to rewrite the universe the way he wants it. So, Justice League is starting to. Scott Snyder says he has an end game for this, and he knows where he's going. I gotta believe him. He did really well with Batman and the follow-on with Metal. So let's see if he makes an ordinary doorknob into a huge, powerful artifact. Star Wars fans, you're probably all buzzing about Star Wars Resistance. They released a trailer the other day. It is set to come out October 7th on the Disney Channel. This has got Poe Dameron assigns this guy to this Colossus, I guess, outpost where he's supposed to do a little bit of spy work to find out about the First Order. Don't know a whole lot about the plot besides that. They will have Oscar Isaac and Gwendolyn Christie will be doing the voice work for their characters, Poe Dameron and Captain Phasma, which is kind of cool in itself. So don't see a lot about this Resistance. They wanted to have a lot of air fight, dogfight stuff with the fighters. I would like to know more about this before I get real excited. But Star Wars has killed it with their other animated series, so this should follow in the footsteps of Clone Wars and Rebels, which are all canon, and they're just amazing as a cartoon. It's unbelievable how good they are. Avengers number 7, you are going to get to see some more of the origin stories from the Avengers 1000 BC. They mentioned these guys a little in Legacy, the one-shot Legacy. These are the ones who were the original Avengers. This Avengers number 7 will give you the origin story of the very first Ghostrider. And this sounds a little silly, but let me go ahead and explain it to you. The first Ghostrider since it's prehistoric, he's riding around on a flaming woolly mammoth. Yeah, let's see how they make this good. I love the Ghostrider character. I'm not so sure about a flaming woolly mammoth. I guess if that was the mode of transportation back then, that's just what it was. So hopefully in future Avengers, they're going to start giving you more of the origin stories for these Avengers 1000 BC that they introduced in Legacy. Number 7 will be giving you some background on the very, very first Ghostrider. Okay, like I said, it's a Saturday, not a lot going on. That's all the news I have for you today. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Like this video, leave some comments on this video. Tell me what you think about the things we covered. If you don't like video, you can go over to talknerdypodcast.com and download a podcast of this and have me all up in your ear hole. Or you can go to iTunes and subscribe to us on iTunes for you Apple iOS users. And subscribe to us on iTunes. Leave us a good rating. That is all I got for you today. And I'm going to sign off now. Later, nerds.